What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Ever Adaptive Podcast. I'm your host, Becky Flowers, along here with my co-host,
Sarah
Sarah.
Budson. Hello, everyone.
What's up? How
Becky's
are
back
you
in Illinois.
surviving? Huh?
Becky's back in Illinois.
I know. Sell your soul to the devil, you end up in Illinois. Should probably cut that out. No.
It's fine. Just run it. Applicable
It
in
is,
all facets.
especially it is daylight savings, which this is the most oppressive daylight savings
Yep.
because it means that it's darker earlier.
I really just wish they would get rid of it.
Same. Not a fan. But
Uh-uh.
how's your morning going before we dive into our
It's been pretty chaotic, but we're here. We're here. We're gathered. We're gonna have a fun little episode today segueing into some deeper shit. But no, it's a good morning. I had check-ins this morning.
Yeah. How are you feeling?
I feel really good. I do feel really, really good. So it's my second full week, third full week on higher calories. But like training has just been zooming. Like training has been so good the last couple of weeks. I feel really, really good. Recovery, like I was beat yesterday and I was like, oh my God, I can't wait for rest day tomorrow. And like today, I feel really good. So
Good.
yeah, recovery has been great. I'm eating more than I think I ever have.
Which is good.
Yeah, energy's there. Weight's kind of maintaining, honestly. Like I was losing for a little bit, but it came back up just a tad, which is fine. Because I know that I'm a little bit even leaner than I was a couple weeks ago, and I'm the same weight. So it's all good there. How are you feeling? How is gut protocol going?
It is going. We're adding in more high fab foods. So just taking along. I have check-ins tomorrow morning. So we'll see what he says. I feel really good. I feel like I am 2 pounds up from my stage weight at North Americans, and we're 8 weeks post show.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's so crazy, but it's all the inflammation. Like getting rid of that makes such a difference.
Right.
But this morning, okay, I have to tell you about my morning before we dive into this.
Yeah.
This morning was daylight savings. So I set my alarm at like 4:30 this morning, woke my kids up around 5:30, piled them in the car, and we drove north to where I live by like Lake Geneva in Wisconsin. So if you guys are in the Midwest or you've been there, it's just gorgeous. And we watched the sunrise this morning, just the four of us. And it was so nice.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect. I know you told me that you were going to do that. And I was so eager to like see your pictures and everything. And it looked like it was just gorgeous and just peaceful.
It was so peaceful. But now I'm super, super caffeinated and ready to do this.
Here we are.
So let's dive into, I know you had watched the Olympia live stream.
Yeah.
We were both at Olympia last year and we didn't get to make it this year. So
yeah, which is okay. I mean, I had plenty of obligations of things that I needed to handle here anyway. So so I bought the live stream. Super glad I did. It was great. I mean, it was great. A lot of placings took me by surprise.
Yeah.
A lot of placings took me by surprise. Even just like opening up with the 212, like I can't believe that Keon won over Sean Clarita. That completely threw me for a loop, like starting off. But our girl Marissa killed it. She got within top 10 again. She placed 9th, right?
9th.
Yeah. So her second Olympia. Last year she placed 7th. So I mean, she went down in placing, but dude, her physique is like just 100 times better than it was last year. I'm so proud of all the improvements she made. And dude, wellness was stacked.
They all looked incredible.
Those physiques were like, I love watching this category develop more every year because right when it was new, it was like, okay, kind of like what's the standard? It started changing a little bit, everything, but like these girls are showing the fuck up now. And it is so cool. So cool to watch. I know Marissa was pumped with her placing. I know that like obviously like when we had spoken to her, like she has so much going on. She is in dental school. Like she had however many freaking exams before Olympia,
Like right
everything.
before.
Yeah, like yeah. She just rocked it. She rocked it. She came and she was the best that she has ever been. And like I can't wait to just watch that continue for her because
Okay.
she's still so new to bodybuilding, which is crazy. So she's got, I mean, huge future ahead of her.
Oh,
And she just constantly impresses me. So and then our other girl, Drea, took first again, her fourth year in a row.
what?
I
And
just the
her
most,
goal is 10. She's like, I'm
yeah,
I'm gonna get 10. So
yep, yep, just the most deserving human. Like she is, I could not like handpick someone else who is like, you deserve this title more than anyone. She's such a good ambassador, like just incredible. Sydney took her seventh, right?
yeah, 7th.
In figure. She looked freaking
Gorgeous.
phenomenal. Just beautiful. Her posing is just
Unmatched.
just astonishing. Like it's just I don't even have words. She's so flowy. She's so graceful. Like she's just so polished and pristine and just absolute perfection.
Yeah.
Um, what else? Bikini took me by surprise.
Oh, bikini
But
was fun.
I'm so I'm so glad that Jen took her title back. Like she has always been like queen bee to me. I've always looked up to her for years. And so I'm so happy that she got her title back. She's also just such a great ambassador for the sport. I just her she's incredible.
And her
Um
in that green. Can we just take a moment?
yeah, and you know what I
Pause
was
for the
looking
green suit.
yeah, shout out to the green suit. I don't even know if it was green. I was looking at some pictures this morning and it almost looked like more teal blue too. So, because everyone's pictures are like a little bit filtered, right? Who actually knows what color it is, but it looked stunning on
It
her
was
and like
gorgeous.
blew me away. I know I texted you right away and I was like, Jen's not wearing purple. Like, what's going
What's
on?
going on? No, but her,
Um,
like, just the whole presentation. I love
she's
her hair. I love how she keeps it natural. I just love it.
yeah, she is just she's beautiful. And her speech was great. She always is just like, wouldn't be able to do this without God. Like I love when competitors bring their spirituality into it. Derek did the same thing. I don't know if you watched his speech.
I didn't
Um,
watch it. I heard everyone was talking about it, but
yes. So he mentioned he's like, wouldn't be able to do this without like my Lord Savior Jesus Christ. He goes, I pray that the bodybuilding community becomes more Christ centered. And I was just like, oh my God, that's amazing. Loved that. And he, so deserving. He made night and day changes from last year. And also with winning the Mr. Olympia title, he is the first to get two Olympia titles in two different categories because he moved up from 212. So
that's amazing.
deserving
And
for him.
his wife
His
is
wife, and she's
29 weeks pregnant.
yeah, she's
God,
expecting. So, oh my gosh, it was
just make
so
sure.
good. It was, yeah, that was such a great way for all of that to end. And then let's obviously touch on CBum.
Our guy, our man.
He also just I love that the trend with these repeat wins is like they are just such a good ambassador for the sport.
Yes.
They're
And
just
good
like
ambassador, but like
stand
just
up
a
people.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Just a stand up human, like class acts all around.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what we need.
Yeah. And like his speech was awesome. I even want to I want to play part of it for those of you who maybe didn't hear it. Um,
It
it
was
was it was deep. It was really, really good.
very good and very applicable to what we actually wanted to talk about on this podcast. And then
Yeah.
he did a speech on it. So
Yeah. Yeah. And then we can kind of just segue off of that because he was talking about how this title was different to him, where basically he just kind of, because this went into part of his press conference speech, and then also his winning speech, where I think you sent me his press conference speech, where he was just basically like, every other prep I've kind of just like numbed, tuned out, honed in, like just zoned in, and like that was all that there was. And basically like he just wanted to feel every part of this prep.
and
um
feel the good. You can't feel the good without feeling the bad.
yeah.
Is what
Yeah.
really.
Hang on here.
And I cried, and I was like, I don't.
Mm.
Last year was from a friend Zach. He was about no quit. This year, I wanted to add to my champion mentality concept, and I told myself that I wasn't going to numb out my emotions, suppress everything I felt just to win another Olympia, and I'd rather experience this whole process and do that. And life really tested me when I said that. Honestly, tore my lat.
Yeah. And so like he talks about how he tore his lat, got through it, everything like that. And I think that that's just such a valuable lesson,
Because you never know what will
because
happen.
you and I are we've both been going through some shit over the last few months. It's been so nonstop. Um, and that's something that I personally know I'm very good at, is just drowning everything else out and honing in on what I need to kind of like help carry me through. And that can be very unhealthy.
Very much so. Because, like you had said earlier this week, we were talking and you had said that you are living in fight or flight. And you had that realization this week of,
Mm-hmm.
damn, the last few
Yeah,
months.
I did some digging earlier this week, and um everything has just been so fast paced with like the loss of my grandma, and then I was traveling, and just like there's so many different variables, and I just felt like every single day it was just like hit after hit. And I had told you, I'm like, I haven't processed any of this. I've just been like, all right, gotta go to the next thing, like gotta keep going, gotta keep it moving, which realistically, yes, you do, right? But all of that compacts, like it still stays with you, it still sits, right? And now it's just like things have slowed down a little bit to where I'm like, there's a lot that's unresolved that I need to like revisit over the last couple of months and really just feel it, because I was just numbing it. I I was just drowning it out and just keeping busy to move on to the next thing. And I do think that it's a strength of mine. I'm very good at that. Um, but there has to be like a middle ground where it's like, am I going to let all these things stop me or slow me down? No. But now I'm at a point where, like, looking back, I'm like, all right, I need to like chill and sit and like really work through this, like event by event. Right.
And what I think of with that is your body keeps score. So if we're constantly just numbing everything that comes in, one, we're numbing the bad along with the good. So we're not feeling anything, but your
Right.
body is holding on to that anxiety. Your body is holding on to everything. And that's going to manifest in another problem down the road.
Oh, for
So
sure.
in order to like process, you have to slow down a little bit, process it for your mental health, but then also your physical health.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's just a defense mechanism of mine, is just like, I don't have time to deal with this right now. Like, I'll deal with it later. And then like 15 other life events happen. Then I'm like,
Later never comes. No, I understand that too. I'm same way, because you don't want to get to a point where you can't drown in it. You can't sit, and we don't have the luxury to sit and process and stay in bed for 3 weeks to process.
right.
So that is a defense mechanism where it's just, okay, let's keep going.
Yeah.
And it serves a purpose, but
Yeah. And with that, I know that I had said to you, like, I feel like a lot of things that I had planned, are kind of like being redirected. Like, there's been a lot of friction, right? I've been feeling a lot of friction. And once I kind of like made note of that, I was like, oh, like, I just need to listen. Like, I can't grip so tight and try and force anything in my life right now, because it is ever changing, right? Like, add it to the saga, right? But
very much so.
I thought I really felt like I had things figured out, and life was just like, you thought. You thought. And with all of that, I'm just like, no, like, this is my direction right now. Um, and there was just a lot of, that's the only way that I can describe it, as just like friction with like what I had kind of mapped out. And I have to just give it up. Like, I'm not in control, and that's okay. And I gotta sit through that with knowing things might be redirected in any way, in any aspect of my life, whether that be business, relationships, locations, anything, right? Anything can be redirected at any moment. And if something is not meant for you, it's not going to work.
It won't work. You'll run into walls, and you can try to make that thing work for you. But eventually, even if there is peace for 10 years, it will come to a point where you can no longer have that thing. So the sooner that you learn to let go, let be. And I also want to talk about what you told me that you heard, like internally, not audibly.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as you let God lead,
Mm-hmm.
the happier you're going to be. And it's scary. It's scary to not grip so tightly, but there's so much peace in that.
Mm-hmm.
So go into what you told me. Was it yesterday or the day before?
I think it was 2 nights ago. Yeah, I was just like sitting and like actually internalizing some things, and not audible, but like I just felt him say, like, he said, I will guide you, but you have to trust me. And I was just like, oh, I just got goosebumps again.
I know.
Yeah, like that speaks for itself, right?
Mm-hmm. And then I told you, now your job is to pray that he will show you what is from him, because
Yep.
it's so hard. It's so hard to know, is this for me? Is this not? Even I've been going through the same thing this week. Is this
Yep.
for me? Is this not? 2 job offers came in. Both were great. One made really a lot of sense in my head. One made a lot of sense in my heart and my future. And it's, which one do I go? And it literally was me just releasing and saying,
Touch on that voice memo that I sent you in regards to that.
you told me, and I wish I could remember the wording off the top of my head, but pretty much it was me going back and forth with you of, hey, this one makes sense, but this one feels right. And just listing out everything. And you came back with, sounds like you already know what you're going to do. Sounds
And
like,
I wish I could find, Because you texted it back to me like immediately. Like, I said,
Don't sell your soul.
don't sell your soul.
Because
Yeah.
it was going back to corporate, which I
Mhm.
come from a corporate background, or pursuing something with fitness even more.
Mhm.
And I kept telling you this whole time that I was applying to corporate jobs of that's what my resume is. Like, that's what people would normally go to, right? And I kept saying, I can't sell my soul. I can't sell my soul again. And I got the offers, and one made a lot of sense, but I chose not to sell my soul, and I feel good. And you know what? It's a little bit riskier. It's not as financially stable as I would like in this time of my life, but I know how to hustle, and I know that it's for a reason.
And this is making me think of a conversation probably that we had in July, when that one day that I FaceTimed you right before we were supposed to talk about a certain topic. And I was like, no, we got to talk about something else. And I know that I said at that moment, um, I I trust in myself and I trust in my work ethic to make it happen. But also, like, you have to do what feels right,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, yeah, the one could sound great on paper, but how's your mental going to be there? Whereas this other one brings, yeah, it's riskier, it's scarier. How do we know that that's the one that we need to take? Is usually when there's that, like, that risk, right?
Exactly.
Where, yeah, it's risky, but that reward could be huge. And you never know unless you just take that chance and bet on yourself and believe in your work ethic and know what you are capable of, because it's beyond that. It's beyond what you even know. And literally, who knows what this could turn into for you, but it's so aligned with everything that you're already involved with. And I think that it could have the potential for a lot of really cool doors to open for you.
I agree. At the end of the day, you can always find another job. You can always do another thing. But if you don't take the risk that feels right in the moment, you're going to regret it. And I've regretted so many things that you got to just go for it.
And it goes along with like the instant gratification thing a little bit too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where this other one, right? It's more secure, it's more financially secure, it's more set hours, it's more robotic.
It's health insurance. Like, how many people sell out for health insurance? That's the first thing my parents always say. Well, I guess my mom, but what are the benefits?
And that versus what opportunities could this lead to? Maybe not right in this instant, but down the road, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's the microwave versus crock pot mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And we very much so are a microwave society. And having that like patience to see what this could be is scary as hell, especially in this season right now where I'm like, give me all the stability.
And I'm going to tie this right into what we segued this into with is feel that,
Mm-hmm.
feel those ups, feel those downs, feel that apprehension, the scariness, and all know that it's all purposeful, and that your perseverance will bring you through it. However it's supposed to play out, no matter what, it's going to be fine. But just being present in every single chapter.
I love it. I love it so much because we had talked about that's our whole goal for the end of 2023 for both of us, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we wanted to talk about his speech so much, because I know in prep, I definitely was not present. I numbed so much. And
Mhm.
then going into life events, we both have numbed so much. And now my last, 8 weeks of 2023, I just want to be present. I want to make the memories. I want to chase the sunsets, the sunrises. I want to just be still and give myself time to be with the people that are my people.
Mhm.
And
And
there's,
just know that you'll still, like, you're still, obviously, it's not like we said, we're not stopping, putting
oh
anything
yeah,
on hold. You're still doing the work, but just taking notice of everything around you while you're still doing that
yes.
is, that's the switch, right?
And that's a very good point. It's not that we're not doing the work. It's not that we're not doing what we need to do. It's just putting down the phone, turning off the podcast sometimes, and just being still and letting your brain be for a little bit in the day, because we fill our brains with so much noise from the moment that we wake up to the moment we go to bed, and just giving yourself that time to be makes such a difference. So
Right.
you're still doing your shit. You're just
Yeah.
doing it more in the moment.
And it's also being just intentional with where your attention is.
Yes. Your words are so much better than mine. So like
I don't know
on
how. I don't know
it.
how. Daylight savings has me all sorts of screwed up. I'm gonna go drink the rest of my pot of coffee and
Right?
we're done here.
Like jacked up on coffee. But no, you were so right. It's just that intention and setting your intentions for every action that you
Mhm.
are pursuing.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes that intentional time and action is give yourself 15 minutes to just sit.
And be
Like
quiet.
that quiet, intentional time can, even like at the start of your day, right? That could change the whole trajectory of how your day goes. And
Mhm.
that's something that I know I need to work on. As soon as I get up, I'm right in my phone. I'm like, all right, I gotta, get my schedule for the day all planned out, get my checklist, like read, like all of these things where it's just like, maybe I should just take like a couple minutes to just like be, set my intentions for the day, be still, and then get to it, right?
Yeah.
But it's creating that intention with being present in everything that you're doing.
And I think that that is so important, even if you give yourself time, is to watch where your mind wanders as well. Because I don't know about you, but I can sit like this morning. I sat by myself for a little bit, but then I'm thinking about everything else that I have to do, even though I'm quiet and I'm like trying to be intentional and present. My brain is not. So giving yourself that mental switch to come back and just be present is going to help your day, because right now my anxiety is through the roof because of the way that I set up my morning this morning.
Mhm. Yeah. And guess what? You can reset that as soon as we get off of this.
Oh, we're going to do some deep breathing and just brain dump.
Yep. Yeah. No, I mean, I love that CBum's speech prompted this, because I know that for a little bit we were like, oh, what should we talk about in this episode? And like once I heard that, and I was just like, I sent you that voice memo this morning. I'm like, I really think that this would be a great topic for today because it's so relevant for both of us. And talking through this, I mean, it only helps both of us too. So
I know it's like therapy. So thanks
yeah.
for listening to our therapy session, guys.
Right. But on that note, I know you have to get going. Yeah, be intentional with your time. Feel everything. Don't numb it out. I'm talking to myself here.
The good and the
I
bad.
think 100%, and maybe not even any for anyone else right now. I'm talking to myself, is don't numb out the good or the bad. Feel it all, because I know that I'm really, really good at just putting it off and I'll deal with it later. And then it all comes to a screeching halt at some point. And then I'm like, that dog meme where I'm sitting at a table and everything is on fire. And I'm like, this is fine.
Everything's fine. And I'm just going to remind you and give this to everyone else that's listening of something you told me probably a month ago, that you can't get through it unless you feel it. So if you have something that's going on, good or bad, you can't get through that point and grow unless you feel where you're currently at.
Yep. Needed
On
that.
note. Good. Good. Me too. I'm going to go journal and
Right.
get back to this Sunday.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, guys. I hope that I liked this one a lot. I think that this was, it was helpful for me. So I
I
hope
was going to
someone
say
else gained some value from it, but
helpful for
if
me.
not, it was helpful for me at least.
Thanks for hanging out anyway.
We'll see you guys next week. Thank you for joining us, and we'll talk to you then.
Thanks, guys.